Yeah, I think we've got some returners, some guys with some experience, some guys that played in the offense. I think anytime you do that, you give yourself a chance. And I think we've done a nice job filling in some pieces in recruiting. We talked about Tristan. I think gives us more depth at quarterback, and then Tyjon Lindsey, Anthony Gould. Those two guys are some explosive players that you could throw a short pass to, and they can turn into a big gain, and will give us some more speed down the field as well. So yeah, I think it's always nice to have experience, but we've still got a lot of improving to do for sure, and we've got some holes we've got to fill in the offensive line, and that'll be something that we need to. I'm interested to see as we go through spring.
Is that one of the biggest areas that you're looking at, trying to figure out who's going to protect whoever's back there?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No, and there's some candidates, and there's some good young guys that we have in the program, and there's some guys that have been backups, and so it'll be an opportunity for them to step up. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing who's going to kind of step forward and take those positions on.
Brian, can you talk a little bit about the impact of having Jake come back for a 6th year, both for leadership, depth at the quarterback position, everything that goes along with that?
Yeah, I mean, having Jake back is huge. I mean, he multiple years playing experience in the Pac-12. He's been in a bunch of different situations, and then he's been in our offense for a year and had last spring and then all fall. I mean, I think that's so huge for us to get him back. And then I think as for leadership wise, I mean, I think when he came in the last half of the season, he really elevated our pass game, and you could see kind of the receivers kind of perk up a little bit, and they were really liking having him back there, and felt like they had a little bit more opportunities to get the ball. And I'm thrilled to have him back, and I'm excited to keep working with him and keep see if we can take his game to the next level.
Can you talk a little bit about Tristan's style? What kind of quarterback is he?
Tristan's more of a pocket passer too. I think he's got really good feet in the pocket and moves well in the pocket, sees the field. What I think stands out most to me about Tristan is I think he's a really competitive kid that really wants to be a great quarterback and loves football. And I think those are qualities of a lot of the great ones that I've worked with before. So I'm fired up as far as that goes. But I think he has a good arm, good urgency in the pocket. And so I'm excited to work with him this spring.
Are you satisfied with the depth at running back with Jamar and Artavis?
Yeah, I'm excited there. I mean, Jamar had a great season last year, and I think having a year with our strength staff, I think we can get him faster and even in better shape than he was, this season. Hopefully, even make him more durable, and then having AP, who's played a lot of football too, and ripped off some explosive runs last year. Yeah, I think that having both those guys, we're excited about that for sure.
What's going to be the conversation like with those QBs about how competition's going to play out in spring and fall?
I mean, that's something I think Jonathan and I got to talk about as we get closer, and I think the general stance that we always take is, you're always competing for your job. Whether you've been a multi-year starter in the program, you're always going to compete for your spot, and guys are always going to be coming, and that's the culture that we want. It's guys that want to be at their best every day and push each other, and ultimately we're going to be better for a team. I just think as we get closer to spring ball, I'll have a better, more definitive answer.
As an offensive coordinator, and that's what you do for a living, how shocked are you by 16 points in the Super Bowl total?
Yeah, that was surprising, particularly with those two offenses. But the defensive guys are always saying, "Oh, it's a fun game to watch," but I'd like to see a little bit more points. But no, that was definitely, with those two quarterbacks, really surprising. But you give those defensive coordinators a couple weeks to prepare. It's tough sometimes.
What's the hope for this offense in year 2? Where do you want to grow the most?
I think consistency. I thought there were times in certain games where we were moving it and in rhythm, and then there were some other games where we stalled and didn't put up enough points and didn't move the ball well enough to give ourselves a chance to win games. So I think consistency. I think we've got to shore up the limiting our negative plays. I think that was something that stalled a bunch of drives this year. I mean, we gave up too many sacks, and that's not just on the offensive line. I think that's on the offense as a whole. And so that's something that we're looking at in the offseason to try to fix, and then just not put ourselves in second and long. And stay ahead of the change. I think that we'll be able to stay on the field longer and score more points because of it.
What will go into trying to reduce that sack number this year? Is it technique? Is it a little bit of everything? What kind of encompasses getting better? Different?
It's a little bit of everything. It's a little bit of everything for sure. The first starts with the offensive line, and then in protection and technique, and then it's a lot of it was with the QB. His recognizing pressures, understanding the weaknesses of certain protections, knowing where his hot throws are, getting the ball out of his hand, and then it's receiver. I mean, it's the whole offense. So I think there's some things that we're trying to look at what we can do better as coaches as well, and shoring up a couple protections and schematic wise, but there's a lot of factors that go into that. That'll be a big area of focus this spring for sure.
What has been the process like for recruiting, and what's been the pitch to some of the guys you've talked to?
I just think opportunity, and I think an opportunity to come play for a great coaching staff and be at a university that's had success in the Pac-12, in a program I think that's trending up, and I think that's can be a part of that, and then I think for some positions it's an opportunity to get in there and play fairly early, compete to play realistically early, and those are big sells.
Do you have packages drawn up already, or any ideas for how you're going to utilize Trevon and Trajan, or obviously both slot receivers?
There's a lot of different things. I think. I mean, the hard part is only one football, but those are good problems to have. But no, we've got some things. We'll make sure to take advantage of the playmakers for sure.
Do you have any idea who you could see starting at wideout opposite Isaiah?
Nah, it's too early to tell. No, there's a lot of candidates, and we'll move some guys around. Tyjon is one that comes to mind right off the bat, and I think we'll try him inside, we'll try him outside to see what he can do if he can play out there. I like Anthony Gould, young receiver. Josiah Irish, I think, is a guy that flashed this year at times, and having another spring in the offense. I could see him making a jump to help us there and give us a little bit more, vertical stretch.
What else has Irish done in the offseason? Obviously, Isaiah Hodgins kind of mentioned that he's beefed up a lot. He's kind of starting to fill out, and he's really looking like a solid starting receiver.
Yeah, he's filled out a little bit. I'm watching those guys in the weight room, and I think he's getting faster. And I still think the biggest thing for him is going to be just comfort in the system and allowing him to know exactly what he's doing so he can play fast and just go play ball. I think last year, times in games he got in there and he was still thinking too much and he didn't play as fast as he needed to. But we've seen him in practice make a bunch of plays, and I'm excited to watch him.
You talked a lot about consistency. How big is it for a lot of these guys from the signing class to be with you guys through spring ball and going into the summer?
It's huge. I mean, it's huge, and you see it more and more. These days. That guys are coming early. It used to be just the quarterbacks, but I think it's just they get a full year with the strength staff, and then they get a chance in spring football to just learn what you're doing, learn their position, so that they can come in and compete in fall camp. And I think the guys that come into fall camp, it's really hard. I mean, Jamar was one of the few exceptions of a guy that could come in and just come to fall camp, and even there, it kind of took him a couple games to kind of break in and kind of take over that starting role.
What's it going to be like for using our AP and Jamar? I mean, obviously we're going to run some 2-box hits and stuff, something we didn't really see last season. Can you just talk about that a little?
Yeah, and I think too is the nice thing is you're able to keep those guys fresh, as opposed to just grinding one, and keep those guys both fresh, and they both got a little bit different running style, to where you're kind of keeping defenses off balance, and they're always having to tackle a fresh back. I think there's something to that, but we'll have some packages, I'm sure, that will take advantage of their skill set.